So, for the Battle of Iuka, I put all my points, all 3 points, into army organization, so we now have 10 army organization, which is very cool. So I reorganized this so that 1st Corps is at the top, 5th Corps is at the bottom. Wanted to get that sorted. And what did I take? Oh yeah, I think there were 20-pound parrots or something, so I got another battery of 20-pound parrots. So McClellan's at Bobby Woods is the Corps commander. McClellan is the division commander for my good artillery. Franklin, Loomis. So yeah, this is like all the guys, several of the guys at the original train station. There's Kelly Walton. So 3 of the starting commanders. Okay, so I'm bringing 4 artillery. And I'm just checking, what were the ranks of these guys when I started them? So Lieutenant Colonel, I was hoping these guys were all captains when I started them. Yep, there's a captain. Okay. So this unit started as a captain. Okay. So that's pretty cool. I like that when I start these guys as captains. And then there's the Lieutenant Colonel. I think maybe half of them. No, 2 Lieutenant Colonels. Okay, there's a Major and a Lieutenant Colonel. And I'm pretty sure the generals that I have in my artillery, I think they came up through other units and then I moved them to artillery command. Okay, 46, 49, 40. There's not much money and not many men in these 2 battles. Iuka is the smaller of the 2, and it's a pretty easy battle. 12 units, 9,300 men, 26 guns. And I'm coming in with 25,000. I'm sure you noticed I made my units oversized. That was so I do this occasionally, make the units oversized so they'll fight 2 side battles and go down in size without me having to add raw recruits. So at the end, they'll bleed down to about 2,000 and they'll have a higher efficiency. I was looking at my Major General campaign in vanilla of the Union, and I basically used the same strategy, except I didn't have 14-pound Jameses and siege gun and Whitworth. So I brought the siege and the Whitworth, obviously, to take out the enemy artillery, obviously. The debate was about the James. My thought with these 4 batteries is that this was going to cost a lot of money, and I think it did. I don't know. I'm trying to calculate, could I have brought the 20-pound Parrot and save some money, and maybe, I don't know, the 24H, or I don't know. Or I was also thinking, maybe I bring units that have 2 stars, don't have their 3rd unit perk yet, and I put the Whitworth Siege and 2 James in those, so that those units would get their 3rd perk. That's also something to think about in your campaign, because these guys already have their 3rd perk. But then the other thing that I'm thinking is, like, this siege gun is going to get enormously high efficiency, firearms, and so on. So at the final battle before Richmond, if I take the veterans out of that unit, or if I take the men out of that unit, form an infantry unit, and then buy veterans, It's going to be a very efficient way to upgrade the army before Richmond. So this is the stuff I think about before a simple battle like Iuka, which is no big deal. It's an easy battle, not that long, pretty simple. You're going to win it pretty easily. And yet all these calculations for me go into it. What's going to put my army in the best condition, not just for Fredericksburg, but also for Richmond. So I'm always thinking about Richmond, or the final battle of the campaign. So I timed those two units and their charge at just about the right moment. So they both hit at about the same time, got 2 on 1. It worked. I was kind of hoping for a capture, that would have been nice. But I guess the unit needed to be hit. I guess if the Jameses had been there, maybe. But back to the plan. Just, we can see, it took me a while to be able to see his artillery. Well, first of all, because his artillery wasn't there, that made it difficult to see. But then when I could see his artillery, my long-range guns made pretty quick work of him. There are actually 3 artillery batteries in the enemy force, and the goal, of course, is to take those 3 out before we start pushing hard for any kind of an attack. Yeah, this is, I was looking at the, I built my army and then I went to see what I did on Major General in Vanilla, and it was pretty much the same army setup and pretty much the same strategy that I, decided to use, of push really hard on the Union left and try to get around behind the enemy position. In the JMP mod, I knew that the prepared positions that the enemy was going to have were going to be much better than they were in Vanilla, and I didn't know how good they would be, so I was a little concerned about that. It turned out, no, with the artillery I brought, they broke pretty quickly. So, a hidden skirmisher unit. I instantly stopped the Jameses, the 2 James batteries, and we were going to fire at that guy. So the reason I brought the long-range guns was so I figured that wherever the enemy put his artillery, these guns would be able to hit him right away and take out his artillery without having to move. Pretty much worked out. I think that's his 3rd battery. I think he's out of artillery. Maybe? I remember checking the red bar, and his artillery should be gone. During the battle, I checked it, and I knew it was gone. So then it was okay. Yeah, I think that's where I did it. It's okay to move the infantry out of heavy cover. Now I want to get the artillery in position before I approach the next prepared position, because there are 2 prepared positions here. And I want the artillery to start doing its work on the first prepared position, and then when he's knocked out, I can move into the woods. I think, as I was doing this, I was thinking, if I take the flag, the battle's over. Yeah, here's a perfect opportunity to kill Price. That would be good. want to get the James fairly close and in a position where he's on open ground to do the most damage. And then the other James is going to go around to the north. And Price is gone. So that is really a blow to the enemy. Now we're going to hit the first prepared position. Oh, and there's that, yes, everyone shift fire. Hit the skirmisher. Always, always, always drop everything you're doing when you see a skirmisher. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move the infantry up to exchange some shots. The James I thought I was going to need the 2 long-range guns to hit him for a while, to knock him off of that position, but the 2 James guns had been hitting him for quite a while. So, yep, and there's another skirmisher, so everybody shift fire and hit him. So that's a different one. But fortunately, he's in the open. I should be able to see him for quite a while. Unfortunately, he routes. So I suspect in the next version of the mod that the capture area around the flag will be much wider, much larger. So going anywhere in this area is going to trip the flag and the battle is going to be over. That's my guess. So I guess, oh, I think we shattered the little unit of 500. So my guess is, if you don't want to end the battle early, you'll have to go around to the right. That will have the downside of, I guess, not being able to take out his artillery. I guess you could take out his artillery and then have everybody go around to the right, but I'm not sure you could end this battle in 3 hours, and I'm not entirely sure when this battle ends. Yeah, I suspect in the next version of the mod, this is about where the battle's going to end. You're going to take the woods and then capture the flag and the battle's over. Yeah, we just took out a skirmisher. Good news. Okay, now I'm going to move the artillery. The 2 James batteries are horse, but you know, the heavy guns are not, and they're going to take a while. They're going to take a while to move. Yeah, my 1-star infantry has lost a lot of condition already. Okay, Henry got a little close. We don't want to just go charging in there. We want to get the artillery in position before we start moving the infantry up. Yeah, I'm thinking at this point, I hope my unit close to the flag doesn't trip the flag. That would be, that'd be unfortunate. Yeah, and he collapses. I think the skirmishers in the back helped. I think the James behind the position helped, but he just collapsed. And that's the end of that. Now there's an opportunity to surround this guy. I wanted to charge this guy, but there were two things. The units in the north don't have a lot of condition, and I did not want to particularly get real close to the flag and capture it. So I ended up just settling for shooting this guy to pieces. So yeah, not much left of the red bar at this point. This is just how effectively are we going to take them out? I think he shattered. I think that unit that I shot to pieces, I think he shattered. Yeah, concentrated fire. The James is doing a great job with its incredible range. The gun to the north has provided a lot of flanking fire. The infantry's been able to gang up on him. I'm starting to think, though, that my second perk needs to be speed for my infantry. Because this infantry just moves just a little bit too slow. Yeah, I think the Napoleons would have been good here. It would have been a lot cheaper, and I would have come out of this with more money, which would have been good. But the Napoleons don't have the range, but they're faster. The Napoleons wouldn't have just kept up with the infantry, they're faster than the infantry. So that's something. Okay, I'm going to push down from the north, push him into a corner. Yeah, see how slow my infantry is moving? That's a little too slow. My two infantry units on the left that are just moving south, I'm trying to get them to not walk on each other. They're still just a little slower than I want them to be. So yeah, everybody's perked for accuracy, and that's great. But I think the second perk needs to be, it needs to be speed. They're just painfully slow. I mean, I can fight with these guys, but I would just be happier with them if they just moved a little bit faster. So this is great. His cav coming up while my detached skirmishers are in the woods in heavy cover. Couldn't be better. See the James, you can see the James moving, not too shabby. The James moves with some speed. The two long-range guns are doing just fine and can hit the corner of the map from where they are, so they don't have to do anything at all. That James moved faster than the infantry and is in perfect range to tear up his cav. Yeah, the big thing about his cav is I don't want them getting out of this pocket. Okay, one of his units is already shattered. I'm getting a little concerned that I'm going to kill all of his cav and the supply wagon's going to get away. Yeah, two of them are gone. So it's time to stop hitting him with artillery or they're all going to be gone. So I just tell my guys to charge. They'll be fine because there's nothing there. So I'm targeting the supply wagon with some and the cav unit that's in the corner for like that guy. So just charge. And I'm having a couple units not charge in case, we get a ghost cav event. Turned off the artillery. And we get them both. So captured the supply wagon, $7,300. So let's see. What were the numbers? I lost 600, killed 5,000. Killed or captured 5,000. Those are the numbers. So that's very good. Yeah, the artillery got the highest kills. I was really hoping the infantry would get more kills, but the artillery is really good and they're 3 stars, and that matters. So Enfield 53s, Mississippis. I'm really surprised the weapons are as bad. 6-pounders. Terrible. Yeah, his armory number was better than that. I don't know why. Well, I think maybe this battle is dialed down. He gets terrible equipment to dial down the difficulty. Maybe. Okay, so these guys all started at 2,500 and they're 20, most of them are 24 something, and one unit is 2,300, the rest of them are 24 something. So, okay. Franklin got his 2nd star. Okay, well-experienced soldiers, and yeah, he's up to 70. 70, 49, 40. So I expected that to happen. I expected his army manpower pool size to jump no matter what happened. Okay, that was a fun little battle. It was pretty quick and easy, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.